From Palm Desert, California, home of the 67th Annual Toastmasters International Convention, Bill Stevens Productions presents the 1998 World Championship of Public Speaking with Dacia Jones Nickerson.
Sometimes a smile can make my day. Usually it takes money or chocolate.
Continue ordering.
Join us now live from the beautiful Marriott Desert Springs Resort in Palm Desert, California.
Welcome to Toastmasters International's World Championship of Public Speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, your International President-elect, Distinguished Toastmaster Terry Daly.
Good morning and welcome to the 1998 World Championship of Public Speaking. This is the ultimate speech contest. 9 of the finest speakers in all of Toastmasters will be competing on this stage. And in the end, one of the 9 will be the 1998 World Champion. Your International Speech Contest finalists in speaking order are Speaker number 1, Dacia Jones Nickerson. Speaker number 2, Rick Brunton. Speaker number 3, Denise Young. Speaker number 4, Michael Bayer. Speaker number 5, who is not listed in your program, Brett Rutledge. Brett Rutledge. Speaker number 6, Jean Dent. Speaker number 7, Robert Ferguson. Speaker number 8, Barrett Hansen. And speaker number 9, Zen Foy. These contestants have won at the club, area, division, and district level, as well as the regional or inter-district speech contest. They have displayed a passion for eloquence and have enjoyed the thrill of success. Today, they focus on their dream of being a world champion. We have some past international speech contest winners in our audience. For 18 years. Please join me in welcoming our Senior Vice President-elect, Distinguished Toastmaster Tim Keck.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good morning. Good morning. Or, as we greet folks in our beloved and beautiful islands, the great state of Hawaii, aloha, aloha, for this very special occasion. Fellow Toastmasters, one of the core values that we share in this organization we love is a commitment to excellence. On this stage this morning, we will see 9 speakers who began their quest in a competitive process that included over 8,000 clubs. And step by step, with hard work, dedication, perseverance, and a lot of help and encouragement, they've climbed that mountain until this morning they stand just below the summit. They have reached the highest level of the art of oratory. Our speakers are excellence personified, the best of the best. They're also very fortunate. Our speakers could not find a more supportive and encouraging audience anywhere on the face of the earth. Indeed, fellow Toastmasters, as we begin, would you join me in showing our contestants how much you wish them well and support them and are looking forward to their presentations by giving them a warm, welcoming Toastmasters round of applause. Contestants, please know that those billions of particles of positive energy that are ricocheting around this hall are all for you. As a historian by profession, I can't resist the opportunity to point out that our speakers this morning are participating in an art that has been celebrated in cultures around the world for well over 2,000 years. I'm also aware that for their part, our speakers are less concerned with their exalted place in history and more concerned that I get on with it so that they can get up on this stage and do their thing. So let's do it. A few items to begin. Let the contest begin. Our first speaker, Dacia Jones Nickerson. Pass the gravy. Pass the gravy, Dacia Jones Nickerson.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and future Toastmasters, welcome to this glorious, magnificent, resplendent, dazzling, grand, spectacular day. A little more than have a nice day. Pass the gravy, pour it on, soak it up. We all know what gravy means literally. Gravy also means something good that is received beyond what is expected, an embellishment to be soaked up. We can embellish our lives, expand, explore, explode with energy and excitement. Pass the gravy, pour it on. But to make someone's day, it has to be soaked up. Sometimes a smile can make my day. Usually it takes money or chocolate. But you can make my day or someone else's day by being a gracious receiver. Receive as well as give. We all know the pleasure in giving. But do we feel equally as comfortable when we receive? Do we accept information, appreciation, compliments easily? Or do we squirm in our seats? Or worse, discount the praise? You look marvelous. Do you respond with, I do, thank you for noticing? Or, I need to lose 2.5 more ounces. We are here to enhance ourselves and others in the universe. And I urge you to consider the synergy, the necessity to receive as well as give. Look at the synergy in life. Every seed needs that little sprinkle. Every smile is searching for a mouth. Every crumb needs a pile of ants. And what is a mirror without a reflection? How do we learn to be equally as good at receiving as we are at giving? It sounds easy. Actually, it is easier to learn how to give because all those proverbs are on that side. It is better to give than receive. I learned to give early in life. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. In high school, I was voted most versatile and done most for the class. I was the kind of person who volunteered with both hands. Recognize yourself. And I went through life as a giver. It was a long time before I realized that that is a one-up position, an incomplete position. I needed to learn, to receive, to recycle my energy. Speaking about high school, when Bill Clinton was in high school, he was one of 2 students chosen from his school to go to Boys Nation to take over the government for a week. He met President Kennedy in the Rose Garden. He returned home with a burning desire to become president. He did it. He did it. When I was in high school, I was one of 2 students chosen from my state to go to Girls Nation. I met President Truman in the Rose Garden. I returned home with a burning desire to plant a rose garden. And I did it. I did it. Obviously, I chose a more versatile life. And even though that versatile life can be fortuitous, flourishing, and fascinating, it does have its downside when you're looking for a new job. A few years ago, I was laid off. Oh, pardon me, right-sized in corporate talk. The interviewer for the new job looked at my resume and said, "You bring too much to the table." Now that's corporate talk for too much experience. I said, well, why don't you take your gold cross pen and cross out anything that's extra, gravy. I promise never to use that skill on the job. Too much gravy, no one to soak it up. The philosopher Gibran said, if I stretch out an empty hand and receive nothing, it is misery. But if I stretch out a full hand and find none to receive, it is hopelessness. I didn't feel hopeless in the interview. I felt as if I were a soggy sandwich covered with gravy. Let us be open to receive more than we expect. Start by just accepting one compliment graciously. I'll show you. I practice by playing Cole Porter songs and talking back to the CD. When Cole Porter says, "You're the top," I feel it. "You're the Coliseum. I've endured." "You're the top, for sure." "You're the Louvre Museum. I'm colorful." "You're the Nile. I flow with life." "You're the Tower of Pisa. I'm unique." "You're the smile on the Mona Lisa. I'm happy." Now, you try it. You're the top. Feel it. You're bodacious and bold. You're the top. You're silver and gold. Now, you know how to respond to a compliment. The next time someone passes you the gravy, let them pour it on. But remember, let it soak in, Mr. Toastmaster.
There we are. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for all our contestants. What a splendid speech contest. It's now our opportunity to meet and chat a moment with each of these contestants, and we'll call up our speakers in the order in which they gave their presentations today. Our first speaker was Dacia Jones Nickerson. Let's welcome her. Dacia, to begin with, why don't you let the folks know which club you're from and district and region?
I'm from the Providence Toastmasters Club 1330 in Providence, Rhode Island, District 31, Region 7.
In your biography, you pointed out that you had trained for and finished 7 marathons. Now, in terms of absorbing the gravy, that's quite a bit of gravy. How did you get into marathon running?
Well, basically, I need to say that running 26 miles, 385 yards is a snap in comparison to this. This is really the thrill. Getting into it, it was starting with a dream, as I mentioned when I was talking about meeting Truman. I think you know that in the 50s, I watched a marathon. I went to Boston University and saw the first marathon and said at that time, I would like to run one if I were a man, because there were no women running at that time. And that dream stayed with me from 1954. And then as soon as I started to see women running, I said, I'm going to do it, and I did 7 times.
Wonderful. I was going to ask you to talk to us about the relationship of training for a marathon and preparing for the international speech contest, but I think you answered that very nicely. Is there someone you'd like to recognize today?
Yes, I certainly would. I would like to acknowledge for his loving support my husband, Toastmaster Clive Nickerson, my 2 daughters, Dacia and Hera, and every single member of Region 7, District 31, whose names are all in my heart, and if their names don't cross my lips, please know you're with me, every single one of you.
Thank you so much for participating with us today. Thank you so much, Dacia.
I'll do this slowly, so hopefully I won't have to repeat them. Our first speaker is Cynthia Young. Speaker number 2, Marcus Mitchell. Speaker number 3, Lee Williamson. Speaker number 4, Christy Woods. Speaker number 5, Dacia Jones Nickerson. Speaker number 6, James Carvey. Speaker number 7, Amos Britton. Speaker number 8, Ian Jeremiah. Thank you very much. Dacia Jones Nickerson. Practice makes good enough. Practice makes good enough. Dacia Jones Nickerson. Good luck, Dacia.
Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening. The most insightful day of my life was the day that I discovered that I wasn't perfect, but perhaps my perception was flawed. When I was 3 years old, I sang on the radio, Celia Moreau's Kitty Review. Each week, I was given a new song, or number, as we call it in showbiz, and reminded that practice makes perfect. Saturday mornings, ready or not, I hopped onto a box to reach a huge microphone. I watched the light go from green to red and listened for the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on the air. Well, apparently, the show must go on was more important than being perfect. If you forget the words, hum, just get through it, darling. Now, I don't know whether I was terrific or terrible. There was no applause, but of course there were no discouraging boos either. I had no stake in the outcome. I wasn't perfect, but I was performing. Now, some of the people danced on radio, tap danced. I mean, they may have been a bit clumsy, but they sounded great. And all that mattered was that we kept our commitment to go on with the show, get through it, and clap for yourself. Well, the world has changed since those radio days. Our society is obsessed with winning. We all want to be number 1. Our society is obsessed with perfectionism. We all want to be a 10. And I think it's admirable to want to excel, but there should be a balance. There is an enormous difference from 0 to perfection, and we can accomplish, achieve, and excel without being perfect. Now, to prove my point, I decided that I was going to run the Boston Marathon, 26 miles, 385 yards for fun. Now, I had a lot of perfectionist friends who were counseling me on this habit, and they said, you can't run the Boston Marathon at your age and weight unless you have $185 running shoes so you won't pronate. Got the shoes, perfect. Do you have a pair of double-layer absorbent socks so you won't get blisters? Got the socks, perfect. How about shorts with a split so you can take a wide stride and not get chafed? I've got the shorts, perfect. Can I go now? Do you have a shirt made of net so you'll be cool? Got the shirt. How about a $200 Gore-Tex suit for the rain? Got the suit in plum. Do you have the accessories, the headband, the wristwatch, the Velcro purse, and the jogger's ID in case you should drop dead? Got the accessories, perfect. But do you take vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin B6, B12, B15, brewer's yeast, and bee pollen? I take the vitamins. Can I go now? Do you read Runner's World? I read every issue of Runner's World. Every morning I wake up, I take vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin B6, B12, B15, brewer's yeast, and bee pollen. I put on the accessories, the headband, the wristwatch, the Velcro purse, and the jogger's ID in case I should drop dead. I have a $200 Gore-Tex suit in plum. My shirt has a matching plum stripe. Of course it's made of net, so I'll be cool. I have those shorts with the split so I can take a wide stride and not get chafed. Double-layer absorbent socks, and $185 running shoes so I won't pronate. And ready or not, I'm going on with the show. Well, I finished 26 miles, 385 yards without walking or crawling once. And my friends said, where did you place? I was like 6,234. Oh, look at the winner. The winner gave it the extra pizzazz. The winner collapsed when he crossed the finish line. He had the blood pressure of a dead man. I didn't allow that external pressure to crush the inner directed spirit that I had developed at 3 years old. So I went on to finish 6 more in spite of all those comments. But we are conditioned Look at the Olympics. I remember a beautiful, talented gymnast who had tears in her eyes when they gave her the medal. Tears of joy? No, she had a pout because she was 5/100ths of 1 point from being perfect. And I know you all remember the swimmer. He won the 100-meter backstroke. The American swimmer, he ran the 200-meter backstroke. And when they presented him with the gold, he looked like a man who had his car repossessed. Why? Because he didn't break the world's record. And who held the world's record? He did! Number 1 wasn't good enough. The gold wasn't good enough. How sad he never learned to clap for himself. So, if you're a perfectionist and it's keeping you from starting, going on with the show, getting through it, and clapping for yourself, please reconsider. Go home tonight and eat a broken cookie. It'll taste just as good. Just go out in life and sing your song, even though slightly out of tune, and dance your dance, even though a bit clumsy, and continue doing what you do well. And practice, and practice, and practice, and practice, but only until practice makes good enough. Madam Contest Master.
Thank you very much, Dacia. Dacia Jones Nickerson.
With the Providence Toastmasters, District 31, Area F1, and I live in Cranston, Rhode Island, and I have been a Toastmaster for 15 years.
Thank you very much, Dacia. Now, it says in your bio here that you met your husband through Toastmasters. Now, let me ask you, were you both timers at a contest and perhaps your fingers touched on the timing device? Or were you ballot counters, or what? How did you meet Clive?
Well, we were both elected president of our clubs, and we went to the wonderful officer training that we had in District 31.
Every old lady now.
To be a president. And following that, one of the things was that we should go to all conferences, which we did, and we kept meeting and meeting at the conferences, and we eventually became husband and wife.
Thank you very much. Dacia, let me thank you with this physical participation in the contest. Participation in the contest. One round of applause for the best of Region 7. Yes!
Runner-up, our third place winner. We learned from this gentleman that what you see is not always what you get. From District 45, James Carvey. Go get him, pal. Thank you, Father Carvey. The weather up there in the north certainly prepares our... It seems like the people up north are favored this year because our first runner-up, the individual that will represent this region